As we gather under the full moon tonight to meditate together, I am struck by the powerful metaphor of illumination. That the simple process of being quiet and going within may paradoxically light up your life's path in a way that would never be possible if you were looking externally for the answers and trying to figure it all out. And it has led me to entertain the possibility that, number one, this present and immediate moment may be the most important there is, and that your full and deep presence in it may be the greatest gift you can give. And if you were able to live every moment from that reality, that your life would light up in a way that would never be possible otherwise. So it's reminded me of kind of three conversations I've had lately. One with my very dear friend, Sid, when we were thinking about aging, because aging has been on my mind a lot lately. And one of the things that hit me was like, what if this is it? What if this is it? In our culture, in our minds, we're always trying to do more and be more and get somewhere and add more things on and just putting all these things on ourselves over and over and over again instead of just being in the very moment that we're in. And maybe what it's really all about is the accumulation of all the moments of our lives and the presence that we bring to them. So it's led me to a lot of what ifs. What if? What if this moment is it? And then what if we could live our lives as every moment was it? And what if we could bring a certain type of presence into those moments? So then that leads me, so how do we do that? And then another conversation that really struck me is we have a young lab assistant, Megan, who's just so excited about this book about tidying up your life. And it really is about really letting go of all of the things in your life that it doesn't give you joy, that doesn't hit that core of who you are. And funny thing is, when Venerable Andrew came to lead our meditation about a week and a half ago, he was so excited about the same book. He brought it up and she got all excited, and it was a beautiful moment. But what that brings up for me is I love the story of how Michelangelo carved David. You know, David is the statue that's, probably hailed as the most beautiful, one of the most beautiful sculptures of all time. And so, he's been asked often and often, how do you do that? How do you take a chunk of marble and how do you mold something as beautiful as the statue of David? And what he answered was, I don't mold the statue of David. I chip away everything that isn't David, and David begins to appear. And for me, that's the key of how we bring into our presence, is chipping away everything that we aren't. And then what appears is who we're meant to be. And meditation is one of those things that really begins to help us chip away at the things that we aren't. So then when we become these statues or our own versions of the statues of David, how do we begin to keep that and cultivate that and keep ever deepening? And one of the stories that is important to me in my life is when I first went on my own spiritual journey many, many years ago. I just threw myself into it absolutely wholeheartedly and reading everything I could. And one of the very first things I picked up was a book. And the very first line of this book was, "You have been facing the wrong way." And those 7 words absolutely changed my life. Because that's life, right? We're so used to thinking about all the external world. We're responding to the external world like that's the cause and we're the effect, rather than the other way around. And we're so busy just kind of responding and doing and being and looking outward. And it's like, wow, maybe life is really about taking that about face and about looking within instead of looking without. And so which brings me up to another conversation that's really struck me lately. We have some pretty meaningful conversations in my lab these days. And my lab assistant, Justin, who is here tonight. And we were talking, and I don't know if it was something that you read or, but it was kind of like, who am I at the end of the day when everything else is stripped away and I'm alone with myself? If I can ask that question, who am I? And really be honest about who that person I'm becoming is. And that again is led to by a path of meditation. And at the end of the day, if we can honestly ask, who am I really? Who am I really? And be able to look deeply at that, and then come full circle and bring that person, that chipped away statue of David that we're really focused on, who am I really? And bring that sense of presence into every moment. What our world could be, what we could be, that, my friends, is the only way that we will ever find inner peace and we will ever find world peace. And that's how our path gets lighted. We think we have this path or trajectory in our life, and really what that path is, possibly questioning, is just having the illumination of every step of the way by our full presence of each moment. And I just think it's so fitting to have the full moon tonight. If we can just take a moment and kind of look up at the full moon and have that remind us that the fuller the presence that we can bring to every moment, the more our path will just naturally be illuminated of exactly who we are and who we're supposed to be in this world. And so that's the invitation, or that's my invitation to you tonight. Thank you.